Hello, hi, hey, it's your good friend J. Scott Jewell, here to talk about a game I've been liking a lot lately, Ironcast. I got this originally from a Steam code that Steejo was giving away over on his channel, and I was surprised at how much I liked it, so I wanted to kind of go through it and give an overview of it, so you guys could see what I'm talking about finally. Um, Basically, the gist of it is it's 1880 something. No, 1886. There it is. Ah, and France and England are fighting each other with steam-driven mech warriors, basically called Ironcast. First you choose your commander, which there's only a couple to choose from at the start, but you unlock more people as time goes by. Each one has their own kind of special ability. So I usually go with this guy just because of the way gameplay shakes out with him. Um, and you get to choose the mech that you'll be piloting, or the Ironcast that you'll be piloting. I usually go with the Warwick, and each one of them has a different loadout of stats that determines how much health they have, how much ammo they can store up, which weapons you start with, and that kind of thing. So go ahead and start the game here. The very first thing that comes up is this maintenance screen where you can kind of go over your stats after every mission. And if you get any level ups, you can apply those bonuses here or do any repairs or switch new weapons out. And then once you're done with all that, you pick which of the three possible missions you're going to do. The first one doesn't really matter too much. It's just kind of an intro battle. So generally, I just pick the one that has the most scrap reward, because scrap is what you use to get new systems and buy kind of level ups. Outside of the XP-based level ups, there are augmentations you can put onto your Ironcast. And I do like the art style. It's pretty simple and kind of flat, but it's kind of harkens back to that parallax scrolling SNES type of thing. And there's a story about England and France and the fight they're doing, but it tends to be more trouble than it's worth to read for me most of the time. I've played through it enough times that I'm pretty familiar with what goes on. And so this is the main board, and it's at first glance kind of the same match 3, match a bunch of colored stuff system that you've seen a million times before on pretty much mobile games almost. But the thing that surprised me about Ironcast is that even though they're using this as the primary thing that you're doing in the game, it's not necessarily the primary mechanic for the game. So essentially, what happens is you make a match of things that are the same color and connected to each other, but then that fills up your various systems. So that just got me 6 ammo that I can use. Not this turn, because your weapons are still charging on turn 1. But in a future turn, I'll be able to fire my gun, because I stored up that ammo this time. And I'm trying to gather up some energy so I can get my shield or my drives up. The shield kind of gives you a flat damage decrease for incoming damage, and the drive system will give you a chance that the enemy will just miss when they fire at you. But it doesn't actually look like I'm going to get a good amount of anything. Shoot. Well, I'll take this energy at least and start walking. Better than nothing. And then the last thing I'll do is turn on my signature ability. So each mech has one of these, and this one takes 50% less hull damage. So if I get hit next turn, this will go down a little bit less than it would normally, which is good because it'll mean it costs me less to repair after the mission. Okay. And so he's got his shield up, and if I click on this here, it'll open up his subsystem so I can see what all he's got and how much health they have left and all that good stuff. It also lets you target where your weapons are going to be firing, which is good, because I want to take out his shields. Because basically my main gun here does 100 damage, but it does it in kind of 4 separate shots across his systems. and each one of those will be losing 12 damage from his shield. So it basically cuts my weapon in half if I use this one. Whereas if I go ahead and try and take out his shields right from the get-go, then I'll be able to use my main weapon without that damage reduction getting in the way. I'll do another match here. And this link node lets you start matching a different color on the same chain. And I really want to get enough ammo to do 2 shots, which I need 6 or more for that. Okay, so now that I have 2 shots off on him, I'm pretty sure I can get him in just this turn. Which will be good for me. And there he goes. Easy peasy. The first fight is always pretty easy. And then on the success screen, it tallies up all your XP and any bonus scrap that you might have gotten. It also tells you how many of these war assets you gained, which they don't really have an effect on the game in most missions, but on boss missions they give you a little bonus. So it's still nice to get those. And then whenever you level up, you click on that gem up top, and then it basically gives you 3 different abilities that you can choose from. Which, the way these end up working kind of reminds me of the way leveling up worked in Borderlands 2, where, you know, it's not like a flat damage increase ever, or, you know, you just get more defense, or something boring like that. Kind of each one changes the flavor of gameplay in ways that are really interesting. So you get selective shields. This gather scrap ability is probably what I'm going to go for. It just pulls all the scrap nodes off of the board for you, which usually means you can get better matches while you're playing. And then we also unlocked a weapon blueprint, which we can go into our workshop and spend scrap to build and put on our iron cast. Fortunately, I don't have enough scrap to do that right now, because it costs 750 and I have 735. So instead, I will just go ahead to the next mission and show you kind of what a real battle looks like. So it'll give you 3 missions every time, and then usually it'll give you one of these challenging or hard missions that'll give you a little bit more experience, a little bit more scrap. So I generally try to do those whenever I can, because usually the rewards are worth way more than the challenge takes away from you. And I do like that they give you a skip button for the story, because if you've played it, you know, over and over and over again, you know what they're saying at each of these dialogue points. So it's very nice to be able to skip them. Also very nice to be able to make an incredibly massive chain on the first turn. That's very lucky. So I'm full up on a lot of stuff. Let's get the shields up and running. And then I like to get a big chain, even though, you know, this will fill up 12 energy and I can only hold 7. I still like to do the big match for the extra XP bonus that you get. And that'll help me level up between missions. And keep powering it up. And so that went from 1 and 1, now it costs 2 and 2, basically because this pilot's special ability means that if I get a match of 6 or more energy nodes, it costs less to activate my drives. So that's quite nice. And then for my last action, I'll just scoop up some more ammo. And then clear that scrap off the board, and that should help me get some better matches next turn. Alright. And then his shield is up, so I'm going to fire on it with my shock cannon. Which is how I end up starting a lot of matches, I think. Just trying to take out their shields. I tend toward a really aggressive strategy most of the time, because there have been a couple of fights where they get their shield up and I'm never really able to take it down, and I just spend the whole battle doing reduced damage to him, and that's no fun. Yeah, see, like my gun, the shot cannon didn't do anything to him. But now that his shield is down, I should be able to punch through with the main weapon. Assuming I can find any ammo, which, of course, I can't. So I'll just scoop up some coolant. And hope for ammo next turn, which looks like I'll be able to get it there. So I'll just put shields up again. And pass the turn over. Oh, and it looks like he repaired his shield, but will he put his shield up? That's the question. Ah. Shoot. Alright, so I'm gonna gather up some repair here to hopefully get a bigger match of ammo. Oh, and that shot missed because of his evasion chance. Okay, there we go. Looks like I can get one shot off with my real weapon. I'm still going to need a couple more shots before I can take him out for good. And even though I have enough energy to activate my drives, I'm not going to, because I'm out of coolant. And if I activate it now, then I'll take some heat damage, essentially, from overheating all my systems. Oh, and he took out my shield. But now that I have the turn back, I can spend 5 repair points here to bring him back online. And let's gather up some energy and coolant. I really want to find some ammo, but it doesn't look like the game's gonna give me any. As who needs ammo? I need ammo, is the thing. But I guess instead of that, I'll put my shields up and set myself up to clear the board next turn. And I always like leaving the view of their systems up so I can see kind of what's going on with them. Like, now I know he's got almost no coolant left. So either he's not going to be able to do anything next turn, or he's going to have to spend some of his actions gathering up coolant. There we go, nice big match for no reason other than A, clearing off the board so I can finally find some coolant, and also getting that extra XP bonus. Alright. Ooh. And the overdrive went off and gave me an extra shot there. But unfortunately it wasn't enough to take him out. Should be able to next turn though. Yeah. And he did not put his shield back up, even though he very kindly repaired it. So, oh, and I missed. So now I get to scramble around the board and try and find some more ammo nodes to pick up. And I doubt I'm gonna get them. Yeah, no such luck. What a bummer. But I'm not too worried about him taking me out. Even though my health is pretty low at the moment. I don't know if it's something they programmed into the AI or what, but the enemies generally, once they get low enough on health, tend to kind of roll over a little bit. And just say, I'm done anyway. Still no ammo for me to pick up. So I'm going to pick up some energy. Get my shields up to snuff. Really would like my gather scrap to come back around. It'd be great to clear that off. See, that's what I mean. Like, he had a whole turn and he did absolutely nothing with it. Don't know if it's because he's out of coolant or what, but maybe he's having the same problems I am. Just can't find any ammo. Okay, there's a good chunk. Okay, and then he's down and out, but there's a second enemy waiting on this mission. The cool thing about that is whenever you kill an enemy, you get another match on the turn. So even if I had run out of matches, it still would have given me one more match to clear some more stuff off the board. So I'm going to pick up some of this coolant. Hopefully I can drop down some more ammo. That hope was unfounded. So next turn. It's good to get a shot off on that first round with a new enemy if you can, because it's before he's raised any of his defenses. And actually, this guy stands a pretty good chance of taking me out. My health isn't where I'd like it to be. So, resilience is back up. I can pick up all that scrap. There we go. Nice chunk of ammo. And even though he's got his shield up on these steam tank units, it's just a flat percentage reduction rather than per shot reduction, so I can still use my shot cannon and be, just as well off. But before I start shooting, I'm gonna pick up some coolant. And if I can get enough shots in here, it looks like I'm not gonna have enough to take him out this turn. But assuming I can get any ammo at all without dying, I should be able to take him out next turn. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to make it to next turn. This is pretty awful. Okay, so we're alive. That's exciting. But not by much. And actually, even if I do get all the ammo I need here, yeah, I can't pick up any coolant. So I basically get one shot. Let's see if... Ah, good. It was enough. Alright, and that's just me saying mission success. So even though I took a lot of damage and I'm going to have to repair it, I got 1,500 scrap for the mission, which is, I think, enough to repair me twice over. Yeah, and, all the extra XP from matching things up. I got 3 levels, all in that one mission. Couple of halfway decent blueprints here. And then something I learned way too late in the game is that you can actually level up after you get back to your maintenance screen. So you can actually take a good look at what you already have before you start applying different iron cast abilities. This one ends up being pretty useful. There's one here that'll make your matches twice as valuable, but this one I'm going to take because basically it means if you are moving at all, you get bonus coolant at the end of your turn, which makes it so you don't have to kind of hunt around the board for it. Let's see what else we got. Energy spawns more often. Wow, Iron Cast generates 1 coolant no matter what at the end of the turn. That's pretty good. I'll probably take that. There's this one to give you a kind of flat XP boost for the whole game, but I generally don't take that because basically in the higher levels it becomes useless, because once you have a good mix of these augmentations, you generally don't need more of them from level ups. And so getting more XP. Wow, they're really trying to push that XP on me. Yeah, why not? The other option there is to get bonus repair when you have 8 or more nodes, but I generally don't repair during missions unless I have to. And then, so this is the screen where you can take any of your blueprints and pay some scrap to actually build them. And I can get 2 different things here, which is quite nice. I think I'm gonna leave my shock coil as it is, but I want these Mark II dense shields and this light cannon. And it does not automatically apply those, so you do have to go into the system screen and kind of drag them on manually, which I have screwed myself more than once with. But yeah, that's basically how the game goes. You keep kind of fighting through missions, and there's a bunch of different mission types. There's some where you're not allowed to damage certain systems on the enemy. There's some where you have to collect a special kind of node. This one is 6 turns no matter what, and you just have to survive it. Yeah, and there's a boss that'll come eventually. I think there's 2 bosses over the entire game, but I have yet to actually beat it, which is also neat. I would have expected that, you know, with a game with as kind of old and tried and true of a primary mechanic, you'd think I would have gotten through it successfully by now, but that final boss is he's tough. So that's the game. That's Ironcast. I really liked it a lot, and I think you might as well. So if you get the opportunity, by all means, give it a shot.